everybody. It's gloriously sunny here today, but absolutely bitterly cold outside. I'm going to be fitting the refurbished heater box, the heater matrix, basically building up the bulkhead. This video is going to be shot over a couple of days, a couple of little bits and bobs. But this is the heater, the matrix itself, the radiator inside it is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. No leaks. I pressure tested it using the airline and stuff, and yeah, nothing came out of it. In the box, these are really simple to take apart. What you've got is a ring of screws that goes all the way around the box. You take all them screws out and that side comes off, and it takes the radiator, I don't know if you've seen the radiator element out with it. And you can buy what it's got like foam wrapped around it to sort of cushion it so it doesn't rattle about and stuff like that. Now, as a quick tip is when you start rebuilding a Land Rover, if you start buying the original, yeah, nothing's really original, is it? Foam bits and stuff like that, foam gaskets and stuff, it starts getting expensive. But what I use, I mean, the foams nowadays, yeah, years ago, yeah, you'd use the original equipment, what was perfect, specific for the job. But now, the foams and foam tape stuff and that you can buy from DIY shops is that good of quality. You just use that. So I've got various different foams I use, from basically, you know, Wicks, B&Q, Toolstation, Screwfix, wherever, you know what I mean. At varying different thicknesses. See, that's what I use for wrapping around the radiator inside the heater box. Just wrap it round, and you'll know it's right when you try and put it in, and it's nice and snug when it goes in there, so it can't rattle around, can't move anywhere. So yeah, just a couple of layers of that around it. I did mean to film doing that, but I completely forgot, I'll be honest with you. This stuff, obviously, this, you see I've stuck a bit on there already. This surface then goes up against the bulkhead, and that's what blows air into the lower dash, into the vents. Well, it's supposed to anyway. I don't think they ever really work very well from factory. So on this as well, I've shot blasted the case. I don't know if I said it a minute ago. I shot blasted the case, and it is painted basically with the same paint that I paint the chassis with, and on all other bits. See, that's where your money goes. When you pay for somebody to refurbish your vehicle, you send something off for a full restoration. It's time. That's where your money goes. The amount of time that gets put into little bits like this, it's surprising, and time's money. So let me just put this camera down and get you somewhere around there. Yeah, and this is I can't even remember where I brought this one from. It'd be probably Toolstation or somewhere like that. And it's just as effective, if not more so, than the so-called original gasket that you're going to buy off eBay or wherever. And I've got a wider one as well. Got sharp scissors, it helps. Just put that on there, try and peel these. This is the bloody tricky bit. Getting this bloody plastic thing. You can't just leave it on, I suppose, but I suppose it's not going to hurt anything to leave it on there, really. Why would you take it off? I suppose it'd seal better, won't it? I don't know. But it's a bloody bugger to get off, I can tell you that. You know, the amount of times I've done this, and I still haven't mastered the art of doing this yet. it does come off. I'm trying to rip into it. Now this stuff, I'll get that off in a minute, it's going to take me bloody ages. This stuff as well, for the pedal boxes, the clutch and the brake pedal boxes, you can buy a proper gasket, and it's like 1mm thick gasket, really thin stuff that goes around, and they're like £10 a piece for these gaskets. It's the same stuff, just use that, same stuff. That's a couple of pound a roll. Right, I'll get this done, and then yeah, we'll move on, get this bolted in. Right, I've managed to get that green stuff. I forgot this is double-sided tape, this, so it should stick pretty well. Oh, get me a window and washer. And that just simply goes on there. What I normally do, and I don't know why I didn't do it on this one, these captive nuts in here are crap. That one there has started spinning, so what I normally do is take them out and just weld nuts in, like I've done there. It's just loads better, you don't spin round. But I don't know why I didn't do it on this one. Put my spanner down somewhere, haven't I? Right. Right. Yeah, which is simple enough. You've got 2 bolts in there, and if I don't drop the nuts, I'll just put these on loosely because I need to go and get some new washers. And you've got one either side of the box there, and that's simple enough. One that side, one that side. Right, next job. Right, next job is this rusty beast. And I'll be honest with you, I've never actually taken one of these apart completely. I've never had to. They've always been in fairly decent shape, all the ones I've done, so they've just needed a clean up and a coat of paint. But this one's gonna go through the blaster. Try and keep all these bits. You need to make sure you keep little bits like that. That's for the return spring for the pedal, the clutch pedal. And you've got 2 nuts in there which are a fair pain in the arse to get to. 13mm seems to do it. And the whole lot's going to spin. Right. A screwdriver on them flatheads there. Decided to, for now doing these bits, to rig up this makeshift table using a couple of trestles and that, because it's really dark in the other garage, and you get a lot of sunlight in here, so although it does get too hot sometimes, it's just right today. 6 little screws that are coming out surprisingly easy. Don't lose them, they're a pain in the arse. No idea what thread they are if I needed to replace them. Considering that these are on the top of the where the brake and the clutch master cylinders are, and they undoubtedly get a lot of crap on there and brake fluid and stuff all over them, they're always in remarkably good shape. Take that one out, it might help. I've no idea what that bracket's for either. Absolutely no idea. No, I assume it's something that somebody's added. And that plate comes off, and you have a little gasket around there. Now, this is what I was on about to you. All that is like 1mm thick, well, well, this one's rubber, but you can just use that, does the same job. Right, then you've got on the end of the clutch pedal two nuts that I believe are 13mm. If they will come undone. Bit of a pain to get to, but use the ring end. It's a lot easier. Mechanically, it has been maintained pretty well, this Land Rover, through its life, but I mean, things like this, then nothing's really been seized up or anything. It's rusty, but I haven't come across any major issues. Right, now I need to get in there to get this master cylinder off. If I can get you into view. There's one below that as well. They're a pain in the arse to get to, but you need to get a spanner on them, or a ratchet or something. They are a pain. If you're lucky enough, they're not mega tight or anything, and they come off relatively easy. What I would recommend, if you're fitting a new clutch master cylinder, is to bolt it on before you put this, bolt the whole assembly together before you fasten it onto the bulkhead. If you don't, it's nigh on impossible to get to that bolt that's up in there. They're a pain, absolute bloody pain in the arse there. It's actually starting to warm up in here. It's bloody proper windy outside. It's horrible. That's that one. See if this one's going to come out easy or not. Sometimes you strike lucky, sometimes you don't. If you bugger it up, there's no way of getting a grinder or anything in there. If you bugger the threads up. Takes a few minutes. No idea if I'm even getting this in shot. Yeah, they're alright. Yeah, this is the gasket that I was on about to you earlier. It's just a foam gasket. Or in an earlier video. Well, I'm not sure how I'm going to do these videos, but right, and that's it. That's that off. It's no good. It's knackered. That's going in the scrap heap. But I will put it to one side for now, just for reference later. I've got a brand new one, but I'll put it to one side just for reference later. Yeah, this gasket that comes around here, for what they are, they're expensive. It's just foam, and it's the exact same foam as this, except for this is double-sided. So it's probably better because it seals on both sides. This isn't sticky at all. But yeah, just I've seen them for as much as £15 a piece. A couple of £1 a roll. Get that nut out of there, and that's that off. Now I've got to ask myself, how far do we take this down? We get the wire brush on there, see if we can see this a bit better. There's a pin in there, and you can see where it's been hammered against there, and I have a sneaking suspicion that bugger's not going to come out. I think you're literally going to have to, this is what they do, they put the pin through, it doesn't go all the way through, it just goes up to there, hammer it flat on there, and then with a little chisel smack it in the middle so it bends the pin, and then that doesn't come out. And there's a nut on that side, well I assume it's a bolt on that side, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do is put that through the blaster like that. If I get any problems with blast media getting in there and causing any sort of problems at all, I will try and strip it, but that's as far as I'm wanting to take that. Like I said, I've never stripped one of these pedals down. What I might do actually is, before I blast it, pack all rags inside there, all the way around, so block all these holes off, pack all rags all around it, so it don't get any blast media in there. Right. Apart from that, it's all in good enough shape. Next bit is this bugger. Get all this ready. There, as you see in there, there's a little split pin that's a bugger to get out. You've got your brake light switch and your servo. So first job, we need to get that pin out of there. So I'll nip and get some pliers. Right, these can be an absolute. In fact, take that pipe off your bugger. There we go. Vacuum pipe, that's seen better days. Let's get some more of that. These can be absolute pain in the arse to get out. Absolute nightmare. They've got to feed some of these have been in there since, well, some of them have been in there 40, 50 years or more. Right, what I'm going to need is something to hit it with. Enter the hammer and the universal chisel, otherwise known as a cheap ass screwdriver. This isn't going to play ball, I can tell you that now. Yeah, it's going to do that. Sometimes what happens is, you obviously got a little hoop in the end of there. Let me, in fact I'll just lift this up. You end up splitting the little hoop inside there. As this isn't going to move anywhere, I don't think I've got much in the way of choice but just brute force. Right. What I'm going to have to do is just try and snap the ends off the split pin. take the pin out and then drill the hole out. I think. Oh, you know what? This might actually come out. Ah, little bugger. Take the washer out. And the pin's seized in there. Get some thump. The pin's seized into the pedal. I'll try and do this without mushrooming the end of it. Right, it's going to take some thumping. I'll come back in a few minutes. That was some hard work, that was. I'm going to have to take my hat off. I was trying to get that pin out from in there. Obviously you got a split pin there. And at some point it's been out before and it was all mushroomed on the end. So what I had to do was get in there. It's the only way you can get in there. Get an angry bit on your drill and just go round the end of it. Just take the mushroom bit off, and I'll get you in the view. And that's it. 30 seconds with the drill with that, and now the pedal's not actually connected to the servo. So what we've got is 4 bolts, and hopefully this will come straight off. There's nothing major overly complicated about these things, it's just a bit of time and patience. The servo all seems in good order, so I'll give that a blast down and a paint. Right, it's going to take a while to do these. Right, I'll come back in a few minutes. So I've got these 4. There's the 2 there, and them 2 there. I'll see you in a minute. Once you've got all them nuts out, you notice I'm putting everything in a pot. That should come straight off there. Give that a quick inspection for any obvious signs of leaks and stuff like that, or corrosion. It don't look too bad actually at all. I think that will live another day. So this has just had some sort of silicone put on there to use as a gasket. Right, let's pause the drive, see if these little buggers are going to come out. Oh yeah. Remember, if you take this off, to put it back on before you put the servo on, or you can't get to these screws, these 2 screws there, which is a pain in the arse. I would recommend while you're at it, while you've got it in bits, replace the brake light switch. You may as well. And this has a gasket on it as well. Oh, there we go. And I'll show you why in a second. You've got that, and why I'm taking it off. I'm going to check that. You've got that mechanism underneath it, and that's your brake. Obviously, that brake light switch is seized solid. Yeah, so that's. is check that it's not corroding up or anything. I'll probably put new pins in there just to future-proof it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, you get a gasket in there, a little rubbery gasket. And again, this it's got the same pin in there holding the actual pedal on, so I think it's same case scenario. What I'll do is, it's full of cobwebs, a lot of spiders in there, you probably can't see. I'll bung it up inside so nothing can get into the mechanism there, and blast it as it is. I think it's going to be the easiest way around it, the best way around it. I just know if you take that pin out of there, it's going to be a total nightmare. So, right, that's them ready for cleaning up and blasting. On to the hand throttle mechanism now, and this is where you need your camera and photograph where everything goes, just for future reference. You start losing bits of this, and it's a nightmare trying to get hold of new bits. So be quite methodical with it. It's probably the best advice I'd give. Make sure that's completely empty. Don't lose like these clips and stuff like that on the end of the rods, because this is all going to get blasted down. We've got a little split pin on the end of this cable, throttle cable. See if that's going to come out. Yeah, a little tiny split pin. And like I said before, I took everything in the tub. I'm not necessarily going to reuse everything, but everything goes in the tub. Just for future reference. And then once I've completed the build, all these tubs go in the bin. If it's no good, it gets scrapped. That's the throttle cable. It's in good condition. It's usable. It's not frayed anywhere, or it's just a bit of surface rust on there, and that's it. So that'll be reused. Yeah, they all go together in a certain order. So it's important to make sure they go. In fact, I'll leave that out because that's going to get shot blasted. That's going to get blasted. It's all going to get blasted and painted up. So, this is the glory of an 80s series. They're all 10mm. 2 seconds. Right, a couple of 10mm in there. Let's see how this all comes apart, shall we? Start this end. It's all got to go back together properly and clean. You can't rebuild Land Rover to this extent. That'll be blasted. That'll be blasted. You can't rebuild a Land Rover to this extent and then just put rusty bits like this back on. Yeah, so if you earlier Land Rovers, they all tend to be one or the other, but the 80s Land Rovers, they're a right mix and match of different sizes. Metric, Imperial, and it's an absolute pain in the arse. Loosen that one off a bit more. I'll take that pin out of there as well, if it's going to come out. So I'm missing some tools somewhere. When I've cleaned up at the end of the day, I've put some tools down somewhere, and I better put something on them, or I've put them in a tub or a box or something without thinking about it. So I'm missing some pliers and spanners, and Bits like that. So yeah, you're losing. If you lose bits like that, you're buggered, aren't you? They're all in the pot. The bolts just slide out. Right. What I'll do is, like I said, this video is going to be over a couple of days. Might be a bit boring to some people, but to the people that are not used to doing these sorts of things, then it might come in handy. So, come on, you bugger! Oh, that was hard work. Take the bolt out. That's the hand throttle mechanism. Oh dear, gotcha. Last one. Hurts your bobbing hands after a bit. Go on, you tight bugger. There we go. Right, they're all ready for the blast cabinet. Then you just end up with just a straight bar then. Right, put all them in the pile with the blast cabinet bits in there, you little bugger. Right. Obviously there'll be bits that'll go through. The pedals, that's the throttle pedal, that'll go through. And any brackets that are bolted to the bulkhead or anything really, just all of it will go through. Right, this is the hand throttle, and it's simple do. So what I want to do is take this lever off. So you can take that out of there, take the knob off the end of it. There's what you've got is a little nut in the back of it that's sort of held in place there. Put that back in and in there, and then it's much the same. You've got your like gasket bit off the back of that. I don't know, it's just so you ain't got metal on metal, I suppose. Then we'll undo this nut here. And so what you've got then is that bar that goes through and lever and that, so that'll all get blasted. Oh wow! Well, hold on a minute while I pick my face up off the floor. And I think that's it for that now. I've blasted, let me just move this camera back a little bit. And hold on, we're going up in the world. Whee! All shot blasted and painted. The motor, that's all ready to go back together, and that can go on next, I think. But what I'll do before I put it on, I could not. Normally I'd take that off. I could not. There's a little grub screw in there. I could not get that off for love nor money. So gentle with that one, and pretty much leave it as it is. Just clean it up and paint it. It still works fine. So right, that can go back together now. But what I need to find somewhere, I'll have some screws like that one. I'll need to find them out. I'm not putting them rusty things back in. So, and then that can go on the bulkhead. That's simple enough. Literally, it just goes together like that. What I might do actually is put some of this really fine foam round the motor. Right. What's next? Well, I'll get that done. In fact, I'll go and find some screws for it. Right, let's see if these are going to work. We'll put around anything you can do to make the heater a little bit more efficient, I suppose. It seals it up and every little helps. That'll do. That's it. Well, as I'm sure we're all aware that Land Rover heaters aren't the best at all. I don't even come close to being near the best. This black wire goes back round onto the casing. If I remember correctly, that lifts that out. And these two screws just go in there. I've left the backing on there. It's not going to do any harm. So yeah, that can get screwed back in. Right, this is simple enough to bolt back on. I always like to try and use on bits of metal like this where it's not particularly thick. I always like to try and use a good sized washer on there. It's all going to be covered with carpet, so just so it don't obviously get pulled through. It's easy to pull through thin metal, so this is where you have to have the really dexterous fingers. Try and hold that there. Get a washer on there. I've got a nut in the wrong end. It's just landed in there. I'll get another one. These bolts are a little bit long for this actually. They're all I've got today. Yeah, they're a little bit too long then. So what I'll probably do, I only need 4 today, I might cut them down. another one in just so it's not flapping around. What should I do? Just hold it. See how far up they're sticking. You get the idea anyway, so I'll go and find some proper, I might have some of these shorter ones, I think I've used them all, but I might have some. If I haven't, I'll just have to go and pick some up. I'm not going to bother cutting them down, I'll just go and pick some new ones up. Save messing around, they'll need some anyway eventually. So yeah, then you've got your link pipe that goes round there, and that goes onto the wing. Right, I don't think there's a great deal I can do at the minute now until I've blasted and painted the pedals for the other side. Yeah, I've got a few bits to do, so yeah, please, I'll leave that there for now, and I'll give you a quick look actually. I said them bolts, you can see there, they're way too long, so I'll nip and get some more of them. I've got the fuel filter to go on there, the resistor for the glow plugs, a few other bits, VIN tag to go on there. There's loads of bits to do, but yeah, it's worth it in the end. There's a lot of work involved in doing all these little bits. It's not hard work, it's just time consuming fiddly work, so it's worth it in the end. Right, still haven't fired that up yet, and I'm still because like I think I mentioned in the earlier videos, you can see it's a little bit scruffy, the paint job, but once it's fired up and I know it's running and I know it hasn't got to be stripped down again completely, what I'll do is take the manifolds off and any bits that are in the way, and then give it another coat of paint. So then it's had 3 coats, so that'll be durable enough then. But yeah, really happy with how this is looking now. Right, I'll come back to this when I'm not sure how long this video's been now, but that I've seen in various places, and I assume that is some. Sorry, I forget you in the view. I assume it's a resistor, or a multi-speed resistor or something. Yeah, you've got 2 power wires going into it and 1 coming out to the motor. So yeah, I assume it's a resistor for the speed of the motor. I've seen it screwed to the actual blower mechanism, and I've seen it screwed to the bodywork just there like that, or riveted should I say. So I'll have a little think about that before I fasten it on permanently. I might just clean these up and put some fresh solder on there, make that look like new first, and then pop it on there. I've always been a bit dubious. They had these on the Mark III Golfs, and there was always a fire hazard. They used to overheat and catch fire. But yeah, right, I digress as always. In the end, I just decided to just clean it up as best I could and rivet it onto there. I don't want to mess around with it too much. I don't want to paint it. Like I said, they can overheat, so I don't want to cover it in paint and risk it overheating and catching fire and stuff like that. So I just cleaned it up and riveted it onto there. You see it's a bit duller in here now today. All the parts are shot blasted and painted with the chassis paint. I just trade paints, that one is. It's good stuff, that really is good stuff, and you can paint it direct to metal, so no need for primers and stuff like that. But yeah, so all this, I'll leave this video there. All this needs to dry now, and I'll do another video on putting all that there. This video's getting on for quite a long one now, so but yeah, it's always handy to have bits of wire and stuff like that, cable hanging around, so you can dangle things off it. Yeah. Yeah, the next video will be bolting all that lot onto the bulkhead. All my parts are off to the galvanisers. They should be back by the end of the week, so all the cappings and stuff like that will be able to go on. The windscreen and basically everything that's galvanised will be able to bolt straight on then. I've got the front panel to paint. That'll be next week with the wings. I want to get all this on first, get everything bolted to the bulkhead before I put the wings on, because obviously the wings come over some of it, so yeah, it's easier to get it all bolted on there now. Plus you've got room, you can lean right in without having to lean over the bodywork and scratching your fresh paint and stuff. So yeah, it's coming together now. Now I've got everything just about here. There's a box down there full of brand new parts. I'm going to have a good sort out, and what I might do is bring the table out of the garage into here, so I can lay everything out, all the parts out that now need fitting, because there's not a lot of actual work left to do on this. The only major work I've got is paint. Yeah, it's basically just apart from the paint, it's basically just bolting it together now, which is all good. I've got a repair to do on the seat box. That'll be in another video. And that's it for repair wise, I think. I don't think there's a lot of anything else left to do. I've got to put fluids in it, and that's about it really. It's coming together nice. Right, I'm waffling again. Waffling on as always. Right. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As soon as I've got all this lot built and put on, I'll stick another video on there. I'll let you know how the stuff comes back from the galvanisers. I've never used them before. It's Galvanise UK in Wakefield that I've used. So yeah, it's Tuesday now. It should be back Friday, hopefully, if all goes to plan. So yeah, next week that'll all be getting built up. Right, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon.